Ni hao, Manila! Ni hao, Manila! Welcome to another episode of Ni Hao Discovers with me, your host, Valerie Tan. Currently, we are here at Bahay Tsinoy, and I hope that you caught our first episode, part 1, where we interviewed Miss Cynthia Go, the Executive Director of Bahay Tsinoy. Right now, it is part 2 of our Bahay Tsinoy trip, and joining me are, of course, once again, the Executive Director, Miss Cynthia. Hello, Ni hao.
Ni hao.
And also our blogger correspondent, Char.
Hello, Char.
Dito na naman ako.
Yeah.
Okay, so ready ka na ba sa tour
Yes,
natin?
ready to learn.
Let's start. This is a scenario of the barter trade. This is a pre-colonial period. The Chinese came here by sea. So they brought a lot of products like ceramics, porcelain, silk, and one item that is very useful for us is karayo, needles, because the fishermen can mend their fish net using the needles. And at that time, we don't have currency because Philippine at that time is not yet a country. So we have nothing to pay by currency, but we have products. So in return, we pay pearl, turtle shell, we also have beeswax, and abaca. So barter trade started during the pre-colonial time, and Chinese find it very lucrative. This is the parian. Parian means market. So that time, Chinese came to the Philippines. They flooded the Philippines because they do good business. But when the Spaniards came, they were threatened. Spaniards like the Chinese because they make the economy grow. Because Chinese are good businessmen, they do business, and also they have skill like the jewelry maker, the barbers, the tailor, the chef. All of them were Chinese. But Spaniards at that time only has 3,000 in population, while Chinese already has 25,000. So the Spaniards started to implement some unreasonable rules and regulations. And then when the Chinese would protest, they have a good reason to kill the Chinese. So this scenario is a massacre scenario. The Chinese were put inside the parian. You can do business, but you cannot go out. You have to stay inside the parian. And then the parian has a curfew. When the curfew time comes, the door will close. This one is the door. And then the Chinese has to go out. And then they have to stay in the house, that octagon house. So Chinese has no freedom. And then when they fight against the Spaniards, they will kill. Almost 80% were killed just to balance the number of population.
So, Miss Cynthia, like, I read as well, like, yung sa history books, I never really understand the concept of parian. So, for a time, isa lang talaga yung parian, or were there multiple parian?
Multiple, but not much, but you move, they move. So when this one was massacred, many people died, so it's bloody, they have to move to another place. Or if it caught fire, they have to move to another place. So there were several sites of parian. And this one, this is the Manila Acapulco Gallo trade. We are all familiar with this, the Manila Acapulco Gallo trade, because Mexico at that time is also a colony, was also a colony of Spain. So we got the chance to transport our product from China to Philippines, Manila, from Manila to Mexico and from Mexico to Europe. So that started the trade. And then the money, the payment, travels back to China. So China at that time is very prosperous because they earn a lot. This is a piece of shawl embroidered and produced in China. And then the Filipinos add the crochet abaca tassels. And this could be sold for a very expensive price in Spain because the higher society, the noble ones, they like this, especially when performing the flamenco dance. So this is a very saleable and expensive item. This is Jose Rizal. Dr. Jose Rizal is our national hero. He is a fifth generation Chinese. His great-great-great-grandfather, Domingo Lamco, came here during the 16th century. This part is Capitan Chino. Capitan Chino, actually, he is Tan Kiam Xian, but he adopted a Spanish surname, Carlos Palanca. What is Capitan Chino? He is a rich Chinese businessman at that time. Then he contributed a sum of money to the Chinese government, and he was awarded this attire, which looks like an official of China. He stands like the ambassador. At that time, we don't have diplomatic relationships, so we don't have an ambassador. So the Spaniards would like to go to him whenever they want to implement or impose something to the Chinese.
So po yung title niya, it's self-given or it was like after na fulfill niya na yung role, tsaka lang siya naging captain?
Yes, he was parang service, and then he was they look at him as the leader.
So very powerful.
Parang Xiongzong, parang the federation, very powerful. And mapera siya, his speech. So that's why people respect him, and everything, they go to him whenever they have problem. And the Spaniards also ask him to collect taxes, whatever, from the Chinese. So this is like a government position, an official gathering. Unofficial because we don't have diplomatic relationship. But after him, many people succeeded, including his son. His son was later given the position as ambassador during the American period. This is the earliest form of 7-Eleven.
Sari-sari store.
Sari-sari store.
Pabili po.
Yeah. Almost selling everything under the sun, and they are very industrious 24/7. Even in the evening, they close the store. If you have emergency needs, you just pull they have a string with a bell. If you pull that, they still come down to sell to you. So Chinese are very hardworking. This one is called the Bahay na Bato.
Bahay na Bato.
Bahay na Bato. The store is ground floor, then the residences and the second floor.
So, pero saan po siya located?
Everywhere. In the corner of the street. Dati when I was a small child, maraming kanto. Usually they put the store in a corner. Very accessible. And almost every district, every barangay has one.
Phil China to. Kasi he's out of the Parisan.
Yes, this is later na.
Okay.
American period na. Because Chinese mostly are not educated. So the only way to make a living is to open a store. Parang ngayon, di ba sa 168, everybody opens store. General Jose Ignasio Pawa. He's a pure Chinese. He came here at the age of 18. And then, he at first was a blacksmith. President Emilio Aguinaldo took him, joined him as the general because he can help him repair the weapons, make weapons. And he at that time was still with that pigtail. Filipinos fought the war and won the war against Spain. He cut off the pigtail. He said, "Oh, I'm free. I don't have to fight anymore."
who gave him his English name, General Jose Ignasio?
Yeah, because
Pawa?
at that time, because they were encouraged to adopt Castilla name.
Ah.
Many Chinese already changed their surname. Kasi if you want to uplift your status, you have to change. If you use yung Chinese name, they always look down on you.
Yeah, kaya ngayon current ones, diba? Like, marami ng surname na Filipino, non-Chinese, pero totoo Chinese.
Yes.
Yeah.
Diba? When you see the passport, it's Castilla, Filipino surname, but sabihin niya sa'yo, Chua kami.
Yes.
Si kami. Yan, right? Now we come to the last part of the museum, which is the Ching Bandi Ceramic Gallery. These were all donated by the Ching family. The old man, the senior Ching, is a collector of antiques. He is rich, but he loves antiques so much. So he donated all this, the family donated all this to us. And this is the most expensive part of the museum. This is from the Tang Dynasty.
Wow.
Yeah, Tang Dynasty. Only a few pieces because we have to restore. And all of these were unearthed in the Philippines. These pieces were found in these parts of the Philippines. Itong may blood dots from north to south.
I saw one from Habib.
Yan. Tapos yan yung
North to north. North Big. Malapit sa Beijing.
So that ends
Interesting.
our museum tour, and next part on the third floor, it would be the contemporary, but it's not yet open. We're still preparing, and hopefully we can have it on the last quarter of this year. Hopefully.
Wow, what a tour, ah.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Miss Cynthia.
thank you, Valerie.
Totoo. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
po.
Char.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And sure, alam ko mahilig ka talaga mag-visit ng museum, no? How was your experience here at Bahay Tsinoy?
It's very different kasi it's a different perspective of how Chinese culture came to the Philippines. At talagang like sa China hindi mo naman makikita yan. So pagbalik ko sa China, and then a lot of people ask me kung ano ba yung like relationship natin. I have a lot of things to say na hindi siya shallow, like tacho lang kasi yung alam ko eh. Ngayon I have more things to say, like yung trade natin, sari-sari store, Banami Rice Terraces, yeah.
And Miss Cynthia, any parting words to our viewers?
Yeah, I'm happy that both of you enjoyed the trip, and I also invite everyone to please visit Bahay Tsinoy when you have time. I'm sure it would be memorable and informative to all of you. Promise.
Yes, promise ko din yan. Promise
Yes.
din namin ni Char yan. And guys, thank you so much for joining us in today's episode of Ni Hao Discovers. Do follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, Ni Hao Manila. Again, my name is Valerie Tan, and with me are Miss Cynthia and Char saying bye, Ni Hao!
Bye!